What's up YouTube, it's Adam from I'm a Music Mogul, and today I'm going to show you how to use your amp designer or your guitar amps in Logic Pro and use them as effect track on your various instruments. Now in this particular tutorial, I will be using the guitar amps on my drums, sort of to create a nice saturated, thicker, different kind of sounding drums. But I also encourage you guys to take these amp designers, these guitar amps, and apply it to various instruments in your sessions because hey, amps are not just for guitars. You could kind of drive any sound through it and create a nice new sound. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now on your drums, and then you can go ahead and be creative and apply that to various instrument tracks. Now here's my dry drum track right here. So the kick, I kind of wanted like a cleaner kind of thumping sound, and for my snare I kind of want something that's distorted and crunchy. So I'm going to go ahead to my kick track, and I'm going to go to the sends section, and I'm going to bus that out to a bus. So I'm going to go ahead and go to bus 6. And I'm going to send it out at unity gain. So the usual thing that I tell you guys is to go to the middle right here, hold down the option key, and click in the circle, and that will send it out at unity gain. Click bus 5 to make sure the bus is right, the auxiliary track is right next to it. Click your intersection and go to amps and pedals, amp designer, stereo. Just going to go ahead and make this a little bit different size so we can see the whole thing here. And then go to your amp designer, double click it. I'm just going to bring it from my other screen. Alright, so here it is right here. I'm going to go ahead and solo out my kick, so I get my kick soloed, and I'm going to solo out my bus, so I hear that one as well. So for this one, I kind of wanted like a cleaner sound, so I'm just going to go ahead and randomly pick something here. Okay, so that's sounding good right there. Drive the gain up a little bit. I'm going to mix the two. Alright, so there we go. We got kind of a clean sounding thumping kick. So I'm going to go ahead and basically mute my auxiliary track with the amp on it. And then you hear how the dry signal sounded and you hear how it sounds with it on. So here we go. That's off. Here it is mixed with the new sounding kick through the amp. Again, it's off. And on. So right there we got a clean sounding kind of thumping kind of sound. Later on I kind of will add in an 808 just to get some of that lower end back in there and kind of have that thumping sound even thicker. But now I'm going to go ahead to my snare track. I'm going to solo that one as well. Unsolo the kick track. And right there I'm actually just going to go ahead and rename my tracks here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my snare track. I'm going to bust that out as well to its own bus. So bus number 7. And again, let's send this out to add unity gain. So in the circle right here, hold down the option key on your keyboard and click. That sends out unity gain. I'm going to click here so my auxiliary track comes right next to it. I'm going to solo it as well. Go to my insert section and bring in the amps and pedals, amps designer, stereo. Now for my snare, I wanted to have something that is crunchy and gritty. So in Logic, they actually give you presets. So I'm going to go browse by tone and go to some crunch. Either crunch or distortion could work. I'm going to start with crunch here. So let's hear how this sounds. Actually, that second one kind of worked. Nope. Yeah. Turn the reverb on a little drive the gain a little bit more. Lower the reverb. Alright, so there's a gritty kind of sounding snare and saturated at that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and again A/B it with the dry and the wet. Here we go. Here it is with it on, off, on, and off, and finally on. So let's go ahead and unsolo these as well, and we'll hear a whole track as a whole with the new effects on it. So there it is with all the effects on. Here's with the effects off. On, off, and finally on. There's a snare on, and here's the kick on. So as you can see right there, I kind of taken two sounds and kind of driven it through a guitar amp and sort of created a new sounding kind of drum sound that I wouldn't have had created before without driving it through an amp. So this is sort of to show you how you can create some cool sounds, maybe not the traditional way to drive through a guitar amp, but you could drive any sounds through an amp and kind of create a new sound for you guys to kind of bring to your tracks, add some saturation, distortion, crunch, whatever it may be. Try this out and kind of be creative and see what you guys can come up with using the amps on various instrument tracks. So if you have any questions on this, you can ask me in the comment section. And as usual, guys, more great videos always coming soon. So remember to subscribe. Talk to you soon. Later.